Good evening, everyone. This is Larry Cedar. I'm back for another session of Sqanning, Sqanning, the incremental release of muscular tension for the purpose of achieving a deep state of physical and mental calm. It is Saturday night. It is April 18th at about 10 p.m. And if you're like anything like me, over the course of a day, especially with what's going on in the world today, you've accumulated a bit of tension, shall we say, both physical and mental. So I try to do these sessions a couple-day live stream just to remind myself of the process and to help you, if you're interested, benefit from this process as well. I'm doing shorter and shorter sessions just because I find they're more focused, less about the philosophy of the approach and more just the practical practice of the approach. So if you're comfortable, relaxed, sitting down, just the whole point of this is to let go of all the accumulated stress you've gathered up through the course of the day, both in your body and mind, until we can come to a place of still, quiet, self-awareness and release. This process is a physical approach. There's no philosophy per se behind it. There's no book you need to read. There's no app you need to open. There's no guru you need to speak to. I am not a guru. I am just sharing with you what I do, which you instinctively, I'm sure, already know how to do. And that is take the time, just take a little bit of time each day to dial it back, to let go of the muscular tension of the overworked mind and come back to yourself. That's all this is. And it's a strictly physical approach. My theory being that if you relax, as you relax the body and the muscles, the mind will follow, so it will also quiet your mind. And it's an incremental approach in the sense that what I will ask you to do is incrementally release muscular tension. You're not expected to completely relax at the drop of a hat. You're slowly coaxing, persuading your body to release the tension it's holding on to. And the question is, why would the body hold on to something that not only makes you feel bad, but it's not good for you? Because the body's afraid. One of our most basic emotions as a human being is fear. The body locks up, the muscles lock up, the mind locks up as a way to guard you, to protect you, to hold on to things which we think make us feel secure, and to ultimately keep us safe. But we can be in an environment where there's no threat and still hold on to that tension because the body, just out of habit and conditioning, will hold on. It doesn't know. Sometimes you have to let it know it's safe. You have to coax it out of its shell and say, it's safe to let go of your muscular tension. And we do that not by demanding that the body relax, but by incrementally coaxing it to release very small amounts of tension until there's accumulation of release, and it begins to spread through your body until finally your body says, I see, it's safe to completely let go, and it will take over. It will look up at you and say, I see where we're headed, I got this, and it will completely let go of tension, and you can just be. And the way we do that is this. We sit comfortably, and we use the hands as a metaphor for the entire body. We clasp the hands gently, and it's very important now that you pay attention. 90%, as I like to say, of this technique is heightened awareness. You're trying to reintroduce yourself to a sense of relaxation. You're trying to make yourself deliberately aware of what it feels like to release and relax. It's like learning a song. The better you study it, the easier it is to sing. I want you to be able to sing the song of relaxation and release very, very easily. Become familiar with that and make it a part of your day just as much as you tense up or overthink things or overexert yourself. I want this to also be a part of your life, a tool in your life kit that's just as valuable as worry or fretting or physical tension. Okay? Sitting comfortably, clasp your hands together. So I said awareness, become very conscious of what it feels like to contract your muscles. Your muscles only know how to do two things, contract or release. Very simple process. So contract. This is what you do most of the day, most of our lives. And on my count, you're going to completely release that tension and register, pay very close attention to how it feels to release tension, to what the sensation of release feels like. Make a clear note of it so you'll remember it. 3, 2, 1, here we go, release. Deep breath. And let that tiny release pass over your entire body. Let it transfer all the way down to the tips of your toes. You've just released perhaps 0.5% of the tension in your entire body. You've changed direction. You're headed down the road towards peace, calm, total physical and mental relaxation and release. It only took one step, but you did it. So you have to acknowledge that, register what did it feel like, and you're going to do a lot more of that. Clench your hands together. 3, 2, 1, release. And the reason I take a breath is your body is very attuned to signals. If you send it a signal that we're moving into a relaxation mode, the body goes, wow, in that case, I'm going to take a breath because I've been holding my breath all day. So now you're telling me it's safe? I could use the oxygen. And your body will send you that signal. Follow that signal. Listen to your body. This heightened awareness of your body and what it needs is part of the process because you need to relax. Your body craves it. It needs a break. It needs to let go. Let it. Step 1, clasp the hands together. And on my count, 3, 2, 1, here we go. Release. Let that sensation of release pass through your entire body. Take a deep breath. And on the exhale, transferring even more tension out of your body, we've now reduced the tension in our body 2%. Bravo. It's important that you acknowledge it. This is a cumulative process. Every bit counts towards the ultimate goal of complete and total relaxation and calm, and we're moving in the right direction. So step one is the clench and release and letting that pass through your body. Step 2 is listening to the body's message to you to take a deep breath, oxygenating your entire body. On the exhale, you're transferring tension out. Those are the first 2 steps. Step 3 is the easiest, but the most concentrated, and that's 15 seconds of still, silent observation of your body. Study the new sensations that are occurring in your body as a result of that incremental release of muscular tension. Pay attention to your heart, your breathing, the flow of blood through your body, perhaps a throbbing sensation in your extremities as the blood begins to open up the capillaries and arteries. You begin to completely relax. You feel yourself settling more comfortably into your seat. You feel less of a compulsion to do or say anything. You're beginning to experience the sheer pleasure of just being. So step 3 is where you really tune in. You really tune in to this change. You're becoming an expert in the art of relaxation by studying what it feels like, registering it, remembering it, validating it, building a muscle memory through the incremental release of muscular tension. So, how much have we reduced our tension? Think about it where you started and think about how you feel now. Note the change. Any amount is fantastic, but pay attention because it's encouraging. If you've reduced your tension by 3%, let's go another 3. Gently clasp the hands together. 3, 2, 1. Release. Let that sense of release pass through your entire body. Take a deep breath. 15 seconds of still, quiet observation and study of these sensations of release. How is your body changing? Encourage those sensations. If you pick up a pocket of tension in this moment of stillness, focus on letting it go. 1%, tiny amount. Now, here's a question that always pops into my mind. If this feels so damn good, why don't we do it all the time? Why wouldn't we do this 10, 20, 30 times a day? Doesn't make sense. It feels as good or better as anything else we choose to do in our life to make ourselves feel better. Food, drink, sports, exercise. Some people like worrying, makes them feel better on some level. But if this feels so good, why wouldn't we do it? It's very simple. It means letting go of control. It means going to that vulnerable place where you're not being propped up by your title, by your job, by your money, by your food, by how good you are in anything or sports. You're not being propped up by the worries that you bang around in your head as a means of keeping control of your life. You've let go of all of that, and that feels very vulnerable and very frightening. So instinctively, we don't want to let go. And yet, if we practice this enough, we'll begin to realize that letting go doesn't feel bad at all. Once you get past that initial fear, it feels better. You feel more in control. You feel more a sense of who you are. You just have to take the time and risk to cross that bridge. I've been doing this a long time. for many thousands of hours, for many years, I still feel resistance when I start, every single time, because it means turning off the TV, putting down my phone, hanging up, that last phone session with somebody, sitting and worrying, playing on the internet, playing games. It means letting all of that go and just having to be with myself. It's a very frightening prospect. We spend so much time exerting ourselves, trying to layer on our guard, our protection, who we are, defining who we are, so that we can face the world with, confidence. But that's a lot of armor to wear, and it starts to wear you down. So when you take that armor off, you feel exposed, but then you also feel lighter and freer. So I always say 10 minutes. 10 minutes of scanning gets me past that resistance into a place of peace and calm. So if you can hang in there, try. Let's do it again. It's called Sqanning, Sqanning. And all it is, at its simplest, is the incremental release of muscular tension. If I just came up to you in the street and said, on my count, I want you to release 1% of the tension in your body. 3, 2, 1, release. You can do it. We have the power to direct our body, to respond to our commands, particularly if we just take tiny, tiny steps. I'm not asking the body to do anything but let go a little bit. Breathe. Drop the shoulders. Relax the face. Relax the head. Let the tension go in your front. Let it go in your back, in your pelvis. Let the tension go in your legs and feet. A little bit. Just go ahead. Do it. 1, 2, 3, go. You've done it. It's that simple. We can do anything in microscopic amounts. So use that tool, because the body responds to it. Let's see, someone asked me a question here, and I'll always answer questions if you type them in, so let me take a second to read this. Do you happen to know if this method can be used to help with tension release with pelvic floor dysfunction in muscles? I've heard muscle relaxation plays a role in helping with that kind of stuff. Peter, I am so glad you asked that question. I am personally glad you asked that question, because I know women have this sort of thing more frequently than men, but men get it also. There are certain cramping and restrictions in muscles which occur in the body that sometimes just won't let go. And I went to a doctor once because I was having a great deal of pain, and he told me that I needed to go into physical therapy to have these muscles worked out, manually worked out. Either that or I could take muscle relaxants. So again, this whole technique is designed so that you don't have to reach outside yourself for solutions. You can find them within yourself. It's very empowering to know that I can heal myself. So I made a determination to relax that area of my body myself. And it took a lot of concentration. But by incrementally approaching it, by focusing on that area, and on my own command, letting go of the tiniest bit of tension, 3, 2, 1, this much. If I could feel the difference, it mattered. If you could feel that change, you did it. If you're conscious of the difference between where you were before you relaxed and after you did it, it could be so small, it doesn't matter. You've started down the path. And again, the muscles are based in fear. They're there to protect us. They can either contract or release. Once they get into that locked, contracted position, they don't want to let go. They're afraid to. They think they're protecting you. That's why we get back spasms. The body locks up because it feels like it's in danger. Like there's certain parts of the body need to be protected, so the body locks up. Now, the body's our friend, but it can work against us. You have the power to tell your body, I understand why you're doing this. I love you, and always love your body, no matter what it's doing. It's your body. Love it. But say, I'm going to tell you, we'll be a little better off if you let this go. But I'm only going to ask you to let go of a little bit of tension at a time. 3, 2, 1, that much. The body will go, no. You go, I got you. I know you don't want to let go. That's cool. But let's try it again. Tiny bit. 3, 2, 1, release. You have to be patient. We're so impatient in this life now. We want instant results. That's why when we want to relax, we take a shot of whiskey, because instant results. Fine. I understand that. I'm an impulsive person. I'm very impatient. I've used this technique to teach myself patience. But when you have a problem, like you said, pelvic, let me see what you called it. Pelvic floor dysfunction in the muscles, which is real. You must be patient. But you can change those conditions yourself. Just take the time, set aside some time in your day, put aside a video games, or put aside something else you think is important. Don't try to think your way out of these problems. Change yourself. Transform yourself. Let go. Letting go. I can't tell you the value of sitting still and quietly and incrementally releasing the muscles of your body. I can't tell you how much value it has. So I'm very glad you asked that question, because I was able to fix that problem for myself. So that when I was waking up in the morning with that problem or any other muscular problem, rather than thinking, I've got to get to the doctor or I've got to get to the chiropractor. Now look, sometimes you got to go. But as far as muscles go, rather than thinking I've got to get in the car and drive on the freeway for a half an hour to get to this guy who's supposedly going to work out my tension, I could say, I'm going to just take an hour, that hour I would have been in the car, and I'm going to sit quietly in a very still fashion, and I'm going to work on incrementally releasing that tension myself. You're taking control of your own body. And we don't feel like we're in control of our own body. That's why we go to people outside of us to do something for us, because we feel like, I can't do it. They've got to do it. I've got to write them a check to fix my body. And that makes you feel weaker because you feel dependent. It's a good feeling to know that you can fix yourself. Now, not everything, but a lot of things, a lot of physical and mental issues, you can heal yourself. And I determined that the number one way to do that, and it sounds simple, but is to start by incrementally releasing muscular tension. Some people find it almost too hard to believe. They go, well, I don't understand. Where's the philosophy? Where's the book I can read about it? Where's the app I can open about it? Where's the guru that's going to teach me how to do it? I'm not a guru. I'm just sharing with you what I do. I don't know anything any more than any of you. I'm just sharing my experience. This is too simple. This can't work. But that's the beauty of it, is the simplicity of it. It's so simple. I literally face any challenge by starting with, how can I approach this situation with less muscular tension? How will that help me? And I've found so many positive results from letting go of muscular tension. It clears my mind. I think more clearly. My body functions. It's more responsive, less pain, less discomfort. I use my voice a lot in my work. I'm an actor. I do voiceovers. My voice functions better. But primarily, I'm in less of a state of tension and distress. There's a lot going on in this world right now. And if you're a news junkie, like most of us are these days, no one's helping you relax. Everyone's trying to get you to tense up. Everybody is trying to wind you up. Okay, that's their job. They need you to watch TV so they can sell commercials. Okay, I understand. But we're getting a lot more of this information than we need. So you have to find a way to take control of your life and say, I'm not going to let that tension take over me. I'm going to keep myself in a more balanced state. I'm going to let go of these tensions without having to get drunk, without smoking a joint, without doing some sort of behavior which isn't necessarily good for me but gives me instant results, like eating a chocolate cake. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to find a way to balance my life. And the way you do that is through the simple process of incremental muscular release. Sounds simple, sounds almost dumb. I've been doing this for a long time. It works. Now, that is a very long answer to a very short question, so thank you for that question. Let's go back to the technique, and we'll practice it some more, and then we'll call it a night. Again, it's called Sqanning, Sqanning. It is the incremental release of muscular tension for the purpose of achieving a deep state of physical and mental calm. I'll just taking a look here what Peter said. I appreciate that. I will be adding this to my info, my yoga and exercise routine. Great, I'm glad. I've had bladder problems the last 2 years. Yeah, I hate to be personal. No, listen, doctors have done all kinds of tests and stuff. I understand, man. It's very frustrating. So take control of your body, and if you can't necessarily fix it, you can certainly make it better. If nothing else, give you a calmer way to approach the issue. Okay, so here we go. Clasp the hands together, and on my count, 3, 2, 1, release. Feel that sensation of release pass through your entire body, even more deeply than it has before. Now your body's starting to give into it. I'm beginning to feel my body settle into my chair. I'm beginning to feel a letting go sensation. That's what you want. Deep breath. 15 seconds of very still, very quiet observation of the changes that are occurring in your body, and focus on those areas where you feel tension. Now you're gaining control of your body. you've seen that you can help your body relax incrementally. So search your body, find a place where you feel tension. It could be in your pelvis, it can be in your back, and instruct your body on your own count to incrementally release the tiniest amount of tension. All you need to do is experience the tiniest change for it to be considered a success. Pick a spot. 3, 2, 1, release. Deep breath. Now sit very still and very quiet. 15 seconds, just observing these changes. Deep breath. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I do these sessions for me, primarily. I take myself through this technique because I get pretty wound up. I'm just like anybody else. I don't claim to have achieved any sort of enlightenment. I don't claim to have perfected my philosophy on life or to be a guru or yogi or calm person. No, I'm just as wound up, as tense as anybody. I do this because I know it works. I feel much calmer now than when I started. It's just a fact. I'm hoping that you feel calmer as well. I have discovered that in sharing this technique, it even helps me more because it validates for me, it confirms for me that this is an important process that works not just for me but for other people. My sense in the people I've talked to is that this does help, and so it thrills me because it validates that this is a technique that works. It makes me think, I think I'm onto something, and the fact that it's working for other people confirms that, and it makes me want to do it more. Because I've set a personal goal to master the art of relaxation. It's become an obsession with me because I see the value, I see the benefit. I want to do it more and more each day. Now, within reason. But in sharing it with people and seeing that it works for them, it encourages me even more. It helps me believe that this is a process worth pursuing and sharing with other people, because I think it just helps us all think more clearly, be healthier, approach our lives with a more balanced perspective, to let go of compulsion. The feeling of just sitting and being. If someone approaches you with a task, a challenge, what better way to respond to that challenge than to be calm, open-minded, relaxed, and ready? That's the state we're trying to move into. A still, calm, quiet place where our mind is open to ideas, our own ideas or others. That's the best place to be, to approach your work, to approach your life, to get better sleep, to be healthier, in a calm, neutral, relaxed place. But we have to come back to this place. And we've sought more and more in our lives to look externally for the answers. As I've said, alcohol, dope, cigarettes, unhealthy foods, mindless activities. And I'm not going to judge anybody, but we all have our mindless activities that we waste a few hours, partaking in when we know we would have been better served by sleeping or resting or exercising. So we all know those things we pursue. And I'm trying to get myself and others back to a place of self-sufficiency and calm through the simple process of incremental muscular release. I just think it's that basic. We are at root flesh and bones. That's us. That's who we are. So we have to respect that, our being, and recognize that so much of how we feel, so much of the way we think, is rooted in our function as a body. And what I've discovered is that if I can release the muscles, the tension in the muscles, through the incremental release of tension, because as I said, to approach it in a very gradual, persuasive way is the best way to make the body respond. If I can achieve that, I will be happier, I will feel better, I will be more successful. Peter Valderrama just talked about Jack Shoulder, the director. I worked with Jack a long time ago. That's funny you mentioned him. He's a great guy. Well, I would love nothing more than for you to share this with people, to tell them about it, to share it yourself, teach it yourself. I don't hold any sort of rights to this technique. It's just where I'm at in my life, what's working for me that I'm trying to share with you. So I'm going to wrap it up now. Sometimes I get into more specific, but I think we've talked a lot about the technique, and you can practice it and apply it in any way you like. The important thing to remember is that you're basically trying to find a way to incrementally release the muscles of your body. You can focus on your chest, you can focus on your pelvis, and the groin and all that sensitivity implies. We know what that is. The legs, the feet, the hands, the face, the back of the head. Focus where you like. But just remember, it's a very gradual, incremental approach. And it's very important that you breathe and that you pay attention to these changes. 90% of this technique is building an awareness, a heightened awareness of your personal processes of relaxation and release, so that you can become familiar with them, they can become a part of you, and you can begin to make this process, this sensation, a part of your life and balance your life. Stop chasing your tail, stop reaching outward for solutions and happiness. Come inside yourself, rediscover yourself, and be at peace. Peace. That's my goal for myself, and I'd like that to be a good thing for you. So I'm just taking a look at here. Some people are saying here, Kevin, doing this always in complete darkness of my spare bedroom really puts me in that complete state of comfort. Great. Good. Any way you can do this. Let's see. Peter says, hopefully when things aren't crazy anymore, we will go back to those. Go back to those. I'm not sure what you mean, but yeah, anything we're going back to. I love the expression go back to. Anything we can go back to is great, because where we're going is not sounding good right now. I'm ready for this to be over. Anyways, I feel better. I hope you feel better. Just a few points. Again, it's called Sqanning, Sqanning, the incremental release of muscular tension for the purpose of achieving a deep state of physical and mental calm. I will repost this on Facebook if you missed any or all of this. I post my sessions on Facebook. They stay up for about 24 hours, and then I move them over to the Sqanning Facebook page, Sqanning, where all my sessions exist. I also have a YouTube page, Sqanning, where I repost these things. Watch them as often as you like. They're all a little different. I think sometimes I'm better at communicating it than others. As I like to say, as soon as you're done with me, I salute you and be on your way. This is just a spark to get you thinking about this process. I'm not looking for a large number of students or anything like that. I'm just trying to share this. So even I am an external force in your life. And if you could bring it back to just doing it for yourself, you're that much better off. We all want to be self-sufficient. We all want to be able to calm ourselves and find peace in this crazy, crazy time. I wish you all the best. Be safe. I'll probably see you tomorrow on Facebook. Sometimes I show up on Instagram on my page, Larry Cedar Actor. There's also a Sqanning page on Instagram, which I'll start using eventually. Until then, all the best. Be well. Stay calm. Relax. Much love. See you soon. Bye.